Many English learners describe the same feeling using different words. They say English feels stiff, unnatural, mechanical, like something borrowed. They understand the language, they can form sentences, they can communicate, yet something feels off. The words come out correctly, but they do not feel like theirs. This feeling is important. It is not imagination. It is not lack of fluency. It is a sign that English has not been fully internalized yet. Language becomes natural only when it stops being treated as an object. At first, English is an object, a system, a tool. You learn rules, you memorize structures, you assemble sentences. This phase is necessary, but it cannot produce natural speech on its own. Natural language is not assembled, it is retrieved. Retrieval feels different from construction. When you retrieve language, you do not feel effort, you feel recognition. The sentence feels familiar before it is spoken. Learners often confuse correctness with naturalness. They are not the same. Correct language can still feel foreign. Natural language feels owned. Ownership is the missing step. Ownership does not arrive through study, it arrives through repetition in context. Context is not topic, context is situation. When English appears repeatedly in similar emotional and situational frames, it becomes linked to experience, not rules. This is how native language forms. No one teaches a child grammar first. Grammar emerges after use. Adults reverse the process. They master structure before experience. This creates accuracy without comfort. Comfort is what makes language feel natural. Without comfort, speech remains controlled. Controlled speech always feels artificial. Artificial does not mean wrong, it means supervised. Supervised language requires attention. Attention removes spontaneity. Spontaneity is a key component of naturalness. When English feels artificial, it is because attention is still managing it. The mind is involved too directly. Natural language bypasses conscious control. This is why English often feels more natural when you are tired, or distracted, or emotionally involved. Control weakens. Retrieval strengthens. This confuses learners. They believe fluency should appear when they focus more. In reality, it appears when focus shifts away from form. This does not mean carelessness, it means trust. Trust in patterns, trust in familiarity, trust in incomplete control. English becomes natural when you stop checking it continuously. Checking interrupts ownership. Ownership requires repetition without evaluation. This explains why some phrases suddenly feel easy. You didn't analyze them. You used them many times. Eventually, they became part of your internal inventory. At that point, you don't choose them. They appear. That appearance feels natural. Many learners ask how long this takes. Time alone is not the factor. Exposure quality matters more. Exposure that is passive but consistent builds familiarity. Exposure that is evaluative builds control. Control delays naturalness. This is why some learners speak accurately for years and still feel unnatural. They never leave evaluation mode. Naturalness requires permission to sound unfinished, to sound approximate, to sound simple. Simple language feels more natural because it has fewer decision points. Complex language increases monitoring. Monitoring blocks ownership. Ownership does not mean advanced vocabulary, it means automatic availability. A simple sentence that appears automatically feels more natural than a complex sentence that must be assembled. Natural speech favors availability over sophistication. This is why fluent speakers often sound simpler than advanced learners. Simplicity is not limitation, it is stability. Stability allows rhythm. Rhythm allows flow. Flow allows naturalness. English begins to feel natural when rhythm takes over. Rhythm cannot be calculated, it must be absorbed. Listening plays a critical role here. Not listening for information, listening for cadence, for repetition, for phrasing that returns again and again. These repetitions create neural familiarity. Familiarity creates ownership. Ownership creates naturalness. Shadowing accelerates this process, not because it improves pronunciation, because it removes decision-making. You are not choosing words, you are moving with language. Movement replaces control. Movement allows rhythm to enter the body. When English enters the body, not just the mind, it changes. It stops feeling like translation. It stops feeling external. It starts feeling like a second channel. This channel is quieter at first, less expressive, less flexible. That is normal. Trying to force expression early delays growth. Naturalness develops gradually, like muscle memory. At some point, you stop noticing English itself. You notice only what you want to say. That is when English becomes natural. This does not happen suddenly. It happens quietly. One day you realize you didn't think about how to say something. You just said it. That moment cannot be forced. It can only be allowed. Artificial feeling is not failure. It is a phase, a necessary phase. Treating it as a problem makes it last longer. Treating it as a transition lets it pass. English becomes natural when it is no longer judged moment by moment. Judgment keeps it external. Acceptance pulls it inward. This is not philosophy. It is how skill acquisition works. Music, sport, speech, the same pattern appears everywhere. Ownership follows repetition without fear. That is the condition. English will feel natural again, not because you mastered it, but because you stopped holding it.